From the earliest edges of recorded time, people have sought to make more of their lives than satisfying the everyday necessities of food and drink, clothing and shelter. The universal desire for something beautiful, something ordered and in good taste, is expressed in architecture, the arts, sports, the varying patterns of hospitality. In these designs for living, there are impressive parallels everywhere in this truly wonderful world. As Americans, we are proud of our skyscrapers, and justly so. Great thrusts of steel and stone and glass etched against the skyline. They pinnacle the dreams of the man on the street. Nothing is more American, of course, than baseball, the great American game that brings young and old together to share the enthusiasm. It's a hit for sure, and how the fans do love it. The rolling countryside of New England, with its rugged seacoast towns, reminds us of the old worlds from whence our forebears came. Staunch sailing ships that traverse the seven seas still haunt our dreams of adventure. Our forebears, in dedication to the enlivening spirit of man, erected Harvard in the early years of their settlement upon this continent, a monument to the universal ideal of education as a uniting force for people everywhere. People everywhere, of course, follow parallel pursuits of happiness. In Canada, the crown of hospitality is afforded Chateau Frontenac in Quebec. The constant quest of humanity is symbolized in the Peace Tower in Ottawa. Wherever we go, the old and the new join in special significance for the present. Parliament in Canada and Parliament in Great Britain stand out as sentinels to an ever-flowering tradition of freedom everywhere. Westminster Abbey in London bespeaks a majesty echoed in the exciting parade of the guards at Buckingham Palace. The friendly inns of England, the public houses with signs of hospitality, calling up the good cheer and the great bounty of common fellowship, bespeak good times galore. Signs of hospitality, yes indeed. And it was in the inn yards of England that the stage of Shakespeare had its beginnings. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Shakespeare, immortal Shakespeare, as filled with meaning for today as ever in the past. His plays are still the thing in Stratford, his home place. In the cloistered quiet that is Oxford, there is symbolized the universal idea of the oneness of mankind. People everywhere are certainly one in the love of sport. In England, it's horse racing, with the added delight of a day in the country. There's more gentle pleasure in a boat trip on the Seine. Did you know that the original Statue of Liberty stands within sight of the Eiffel Tower? The architectural magnificence of Notre Dame bespeaks majesty from any angle. The Champs-Élysées bubbles with excitement in every sidewalk cafe. Good living and the joy of life. They are as much monuments to French culture as the Arc de Triomphe. Gaieté Parisienne is decidedly more than operetta. It is the spirit of this city of light, the French spirit. Ah, monsieur, you there in that elegant restaurant. What is the pièce de résistance? Something delectable, to be sure. Something French. Something ultimate in cuisine. The French spirit reverberates from the cobblestone pavements of Montmartre to the restful gardens of the Louvre. The Louvre, with its celebrated art treasures, is the dream of every painter in France. The beloved and beautiful countryside, reflected again and again in the French masters. But every boy in France dreams of the Tour de France. Every town and village turns out en masse to cheer the cyclists whizzing by. In Europe, they live in easy harmony with the old and the new. Whether it is the magnificent houses of the guilds rising in medieval splendor in the Grand Place of Brussels in Belgium, the quiet canals of Amsterdam in the Netherlands, or the busy downtown streets, the 20th century rubs shoulders with the pleasant past. The town hall of Stockholm in Sweden looks across the water at modern structures, crisp and clean in line as sailing craft. Every youngster in Sweden dreams of voyaging the seven seas. Hospitality's Swedish style is the smorgasbord. Come and get it entertaining. Help yourself to something of everything, and then come back for more of everything. This is the life. Good living is round the world and universal. In Germany, as elsewhere in Europe, modern structures are rising in modern devotion to freedom of form. In Germany, as elsewhere in Europe, soccer, the football in Europe, is a favorite sport. Rough and tumble and rugged. Yes, indeed. And fans will be fans wherever you find them. The Rhine Valley spells the enchantment of song and story. Legends at every turn of the river. Castles, it seems, on every mountaintop. The echoing past hovers over memorable Heidelberg and the Heidelberg Lion, symbol of the university. The spirit of youth universal in the ageless pursuit of learning, and not always too serious, especially between classes. Gemütlichkeit is the German word for the good life. Gemütlichkeit. The country tunes and the country dances abound with it. The conviviality, the exuberance, the transcending goodwill of just plain folks. The rhythms change from place to place, but the spirit is everywhere the same. They swing their partners, even as the fabulous town clock in Munich. Or do you prefer a bit of medieval tournament? In Vienna, the opera is the musical hub of the city. The great masters are always with you, and the world waltzes because of Johann Strauss. It is festival here, festival of the spirit for all the world. And boy meets girl in Austria as anywhere else. Dreams of the Alps, perhaps, the Swiss Alps, or even in the hottest summer weather, the snow encrusts the lofty mountain ranges. When boy meets girl, the dreams are of tomorrow, always tomorrow. And in Italy, a favorite dream is rendering an operatic aria in famed La Scala in Milan, or sightseeing along the Grand Canal in Venice. St. Mark's Square is alive with pigeons at feeding time. Every tourist, of course, investigates the romance of a ride in a gondola. Florence is a highlight of any visit, whether strolling along the Ponte Vecchio, the Bridge of Shops, or seeking out the treasures of the art world, the masterpieces of centuries past. Beautiful Florence, like the eternal city that is Rome, where the ecclesiastical splendor of the Renaissance completely enthralls the imagination. The dome of St. Peter's rises upwards like a heavenly choir. From the topmost pinnacle, the centuries that are Rome spread out in everlasting significance. The play of the fountains. Fountains, it seems, in every square, every turn of every street. Fountains, and the romance that is Rome, with a backdrop of the Arch of Constantine, or the Colosseum, or the classic quiets of the ancient Forum. The Mediterranean world is a festival world. Young and old join in the fun, dancing in the streets in gay carnival spirit. Pamplona in Spain combines its festival with the national sport. Bulls charge through the narrow streets of the town, and everybody imagines himself a matador. There's rough and tumble free-for-all in the arena before the professionals take over.